Hello, my name is Dan Morris. I'm a cloud security architect for the Americas. Today I'm going to go over on how to deploy a Check Point SmartCenter in an AWS environment in a few easy steps. First off, you do require a subnet within a VPC that is publicly accessible. This is required for updates or if you need to push a policy to gateways that are externally managed. In my case today, I'm going to display how to create a single VPC with a publicly accessible subnet with a IGW created. If you deploy into an existing environment, you don't require to go through an IGW, but some means to access the internet if you need to update the SmartCenter or its contract files, or if you have externally managed devices. Within my AWS console, I'm going to click on Create VPC. This brings up a wizard. And I'm going to select VPC and more. I'm going to name it to represent the VPC I'm creating today. So I'm going to call it VPC SmartCenter. Define a subnet range or setter block associated to it. I'm going to just do a /24. I don't require any availability zones. One public accessible subnet, and I don't have any private subnets in this case. As you can see, the VPC wizard creates the VPC, my public subnet, my route table, and my IGW. And I click Create VPC. Within a few short seconds, I will have a VPC created, and I can view my VPC within my AWS console. Now I require a SSH key to access my EC2 instance or my Check Point SmartCenter. I click on EC2, and I can use an existing SSH key, or I could create a new one. I'm going to click on key pairs and create key pairs and give it a name. And I'm going to click Create Key Pair. And it automatically downloads it to my desktop. Now I'm ready to deploy Check Point SmartCenter in AWS. I'll go to the Check Point support site and look for the solution called AWS Templates. This creates all the necessary components around the Check Point environment to deploy a Check Point management station. It is SK111013. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to select Check Point CloudGuard network for AWS management server here. As you see, I have different options available. I could deploy a Check Point management station, a multi-domain unit, or even a standalone device. And I also have the ability to use the CloudFormation template or Terraform. And as you noted, its only option is deploying to an existing VPC. I'm going to select Launch Stack, and this brings up the stack wizard. My stack name, it's a stack name that's associated to my CloudFormation template. I'm going to leave it as is for today. And then I'm going to select the VPC I just created. Same thing with the associated subnet. The name of the Check Point management station. This is actually going to be the name or tag value you'll see within AWS. The instance size. The key that I've created. If you did not create a key already, you won't have the option here to create one. So that's the reason why we created this key earlier. I am externally managing it, so I'm going to require a elastic IP. If you already have a range of IPs that you would like to use later, you could either deploy it without elastic IP, or you could deploy it with one and modify it afterwards. You have the disk volume or the size, the type, the encryption associated to it, if you're accessing it through a direct connect or not, tamper protection in case you accidentally terminate the instance, you can enable it to true or false. Then you have the IAM permissions. So it's always recommended to create the IAM roles. This will do it automatically. If you're unable to do this due to restrictions of your account, if you go back to the CloudFormation template and you scroll down to the very bottom here, you do have the create IAM role formation template available for you here that you can provide to the AWS administrator that can then launch that and provide and create the desired IAM roles for you. The purpose of the IAM roles is used to associate it to the CloudGuard controller, which is used to dynamically update the objects, or CloudGuard management extension if you're using the auto scaling solution to dynamically scale in or scale out firewalls based off the need. So today I'm going to click create with read permissions. The version you like to run, RID120 BYOL today, your default shell, Clish or Bash, your password hash, if you do have one, you're able to create your own password hash by typing OpenSSL password -6 and the password associated to it. You can paste it in here, or you could define this later. And then the management station, so the host name associated, a primary management station, secondary management station, or log service. This runs the confd scripts that basically runs your first-time configuration wizard for you automatically. In some cases, you may want to run a manual configuration. If that's the case, you would actually choose the other option within the CloudFormation template for security gateway, and then choose manual configuration. That allows you to do the first-time configuration wizard. Since it is not a secondary management station, we don't need a SIG key. Automatic uploads and downloads of updates. Always recommend to have to set to true. And then the administration address that will access the SmartCenter. This will define the network security groups and the the GUI list within the CP config. So in this case, I'm going to do 0.0.0.0/0. I don't know my IP right now. This allows me to fully open it. I can restrict this later if required. Am I managing gateways over the internet? Let's say yes, I am. This also updates the network security groups for the associated communication ports. And you could restrict it. In my case, I'm going to do fully open for today. Bootstrap scripts, if you have any additional configurations, that might need to be configured. So as an example, you have some radius authentication, you want to modify, let's say, specific users and groups. You could define your own custom scripts that could be executed after the deployment. You can leave NTP alone, and then I'm going to select the last two options here. Basically, I'm acknowledging and creating custom names and IAM roles, and it says the capability to auto expand. And I click create stack. This will validate my configuration and starts creating the devices. This will take a few minutes to complete. As you can see, over a short period of time here, if I refresh my stack, you'll see that it is completing a lot of the processes, and you can see on the left-hand side the status of the stack that's being deployed. Currently, it's deployed the IAM role, some of the management station stack is in process, and you can see the output as it's going through the process here on the left-hand and right-hand side. After a few minutes, you'll see the CloudFormation template has completed. You can refresh your page, and you can see the stack itself for the management station has completed successfully. At this point, you want to SSH into the Check Point management station. The easiest way to do that is clicking on EC2, clicking on the virtual machines, and you will actually see the instance ID for it and public IP. From the public IP, copy the public IP address and open up a PuTTY client or another SSH client you might like, and click New Session. In the session, click on SSH, and you'll need to load in your SSH key itself. So clicking Auth, Browse, and selecting the SSH key. Underneath the session details, you type in admin @ in the public IP, and this will open SSH section to the actual admin console. The reason why we're doing this is because we did not set the admin username and password earlier on during the deployment, but if you did, you would not have to do this. So in my case, I will need to do this. So first off, I'm going to do the set user admin password, and I'm going to provide it a password. And save config. And now my admin password set for my Smart Console client. I click up about Smart Console client. I put in my password I just generated and the public IP address. And now I'm able to successfully log into my Smart Console client. At this stage, if you get a saying unable to connect to server, or some error messages about launching the application or CPM is not running, this is actually quite expected if the management station is not yet fully up and running. This is a very common issue you see with a AWS environment or even other cloud environments where the deployment of the actual EC2 instance is completed, but the provisioning still needs to be able to complete from the checkpoint portion of it, and that could take anywhere between 2 to 10 minutes. So what I typically do is recommend going and have a coffee, coming back, and then trying the service again. And as you can see here, my management station is up and running. So at this point, you can see that I have a checkpoint management station deployed in AWS and able to create my firewall objects and push policies to both internal in AWS or external on the internet to my checkpoint devices. So this is a quick session on how I deployed a checkpoint management station in AWS with a few easy steps. Thank you very much. Have a great day.